I'm Dow Bartling, and I certainly hope that you and yours are having yourself a sunnier, warmer day. Certainly is sunnier here today. Well, the older I am, the more that I think. And I often ponder on numerous questions that I get as I get older, a little more gray. And one question that seems to be reoccurring is this. Dow, can you relate to some of your mentors that you really think helped you in your path? And yes, indeed, I've had quite a few mentors that I personally worked with, both socially through different groups and organizations, as well, of course, at work. And career-wise, I've really only been involved with 2 organizations. But more than that, I had a friendship. Yes, I think actually a friendship with mentors that were not personally one-on-one communication with me. And of course, this was quite a few years ago, folks. So if it wasn't maybe audiobooks, it was, of course, regular books. And 2 of those mentors that I can immediately think of were this. One of them is so famous and old, if you want to say. He had passed away by the time that I started my career. And the other one had not. And he used the prior one's foundational stones to take it to another level. First one, ZZ. No. Not ZZ Top. ZZ, Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar. Get rid of that stinking thinking and daily do a checkup from the neck up. The other one, as I said, I was involved career-wise with really only 2 organizations. And both organizations had the foresight to get me involved and actually send me partake in. I've been in 3 Dale Carnegie courses, and they are stupendous. They are marvelous. A marvelous mentor. Yes, Dale Carnegie, in his book here, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, this book, of course, I highly recommend. And don't get carried away, as maybe we do in today's world, where it says how to win friends and influence people. Oh, you're trying to guide people the way that you want them to be and things like this. Manipulate people. No, I don't think so. And I don't think you will either if you dig into the book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. He emphasizes in his first chapter the 3 C's. So his first principle is a instruction of do not. Do not do this. Try to build a habit where you are not doing this. Yes, you're going to follow the habit, but try to work on ways to develop this habit. The habit being, don't do the 3 C's. Don't do the 3 C's. Those are don't criticize, don't condemn, and don't complain. Don't criticize, condemn, and complain. And boy, those 3 have a lot of fans. They really want to get on the bandwagon. They want you to join in the chorus too. But don't don't do it. He brings up in his chapter 1, if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. He says, don't condemn. Now, in his book, and I like history, he covers different examples of what he's trying to get across by giving some history examples. One that sticks with me here in chapter 1 is this, that right after that terrific battle, Gettysburg, many died on both sides. General Robert E. Lee was pinned down. What I mean by that is he had a river on one side of him, and that river was actually flooding, folks. And the Union Army had him surrounded. And the general in charge was a general. Around here in South Dakota, we may know the name very much, particularly here in western South Dakota. Meade. General Meade had him pinned down, had General Lee and the majority of his forces pinned down there. And President Lincoln immediately sent dispatch and telegrams to attack. Nothing happened. And in fact, the floodwaters receded and General Lee was able to escape. Well, you can imagine how angry President Lincoln was. So angry not that he not only let his anger be known a little bit in dispatches, but he then later wrote a very detailed letter to General Meade, along with paragraph after paragraph detailing why he was angry and why basically the general was not following the president's instructions and dishonoring the presidency. After the president wrote that detailed letter, sitting at his desk, he then took the letter and stuck it in a drawer. It was only later when they were developing the National Lincoln Library that they found the letter that Lincoln had done. You see, he did not want to follow the 3 C's. And so, yes, on his own, to himself, he did his condemning and criticizing. And then he put it away. The wisdom of a leader, he put it away. So he did not publicly criticize, condemn, or complain. I just recently, probably within the last month, have been kind of watching analytical me and my nature. I've been watching the national news. The national news versus in the morning I watched news from Japan, both in the morning and evening. And I did a comparison on the 3 C's. And with our USA national news, whatever the network seems like, the 3 major networks, there was a 90-10 ratio. 90% of it was negative. 90% negative. You watch tonight and see. Yet with the Japanese news, and I understand it was international and there was a certain amount of public relations being done there, it was 90-10 positive. They had a major earthquake. On the positive side, they showed within 24 hours how they were helping the victims of the earthquake. They had acted, the people of Japan, that fast. You know, in this digital world, there's a phrase, Bury your boomerang. Bury your boomerang. What does that mean? Well, if you throw a boomerang, it circles back, comes back to you. If you're sending out emails, texts, Facebook comments, you're throwing your boomerang out, and it's going to come back to you. It's going to eat at you. You're going to get in the habit of doing those 3 C's, and you don't want to do that. So they say, look over what your email is saying. Is it clear? Is it concise? Do they understand what you're getting across? Or using jargon that maybe they don't understand? Do you know the audience and the situation that the person that you are sending the email to, that they are in? Are you taking all that into consideration? I recommend using emojis because that person can't see you. They can't see the body language of what you're trying to get across to them in the form of that electronic communication. They say, bury your boomerang. It's going to come back to you, and if it does, you don't want it to be in the form of 3 C's because they received, they think, the 3 C's. Those 3 C's are, don't criticize, don't condemn, and don't complain. And then helps you then do that checkup from the neck up. And then you're able to do what this little paperweight says. Successful people do things that failures refuse to do. So, I want you to go out there, have yourself that Sunnier-Warmer day. Do not get in the chorus and start singing the 3 C's. Look for ways not to do 3 C's. Bury your boomerang. And know this, I'm rooting for you because we're in this together. And I love what I do because I know this. Blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. You take care.